Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, I think we're live.
Yeah,
What
looks
up,
like we
family? If we're
right now.
live, I'm just verifying to see that we are live because we want to do this today's session live. So let me just check right fast. But give us a
Yeah,
sec.
it
But
says excellent connection on
no, that's good.
YouTube, John.
And let me see. Blah blah blah. No
Live for
pics.
15 seconds.
Oh, did you?
All right, so
Your drone still recording or no?
yeah, it says live. It's been live for 26 seconds right now. Look
Okay, good.
now, hopefully.
All right. Keep it there. And then I'm just checking on the YouTube to make sure because usually I can see that our
I see
channel.
us now.
Oh, you can see us?
Yeah. All right, so now
Oh
I
yeah,
can
we
see the
live, bro.
assholes with these little comments and shit that we
I know.
can't see during the live show. I was like,
Yeah.
now we can get in their ass. Like,
Yeah.
cool.
All right, buddy. All right, so family, so we are live. So we just recorded a few episodes, but we thought that for for these next couple of stories, we wanted to go live because these are some pretty big stories. So Ty, what you think? Do you want to go into the gender war? You want to go into the what you think, or maybe Sonya?
Oh, I think your cousin on the joint. You see him?
Oh, is he saying something?
Yeah, he said, "Yo." I guess he got an alert.
Yo, what up, cuzzo? Oh, all right, we can see the chat. What up, cuz? I can't really see it yet, but Ty can see it, so that's good. So that's awesome. But cuz we on here, we just wanted to chat and so let's get started with Sonya because me and my cousin were actually talking about the
Yeah.
situation, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
so
yeah. Oh,
family,
let's get at
if
it
y'all don't,
then.
if y'all don't remember, family, months ago, the U.S. Marshal, the was he a fireman who got gunned down? We talked about that controversial situation where like the cop knocked on the door, the U.S. airman answered the door with his gun in hand. Cop shot him, right, and it was
Yeah,
really controversial. It was one of our most popular as far as like traffic and views and comments. Like it was,
yeah,
people were split. There
yeah,
were so many comments on that, and so this is
yeah. It was
another
definitely
case now.
split. Yeah.
This has already gone international, so now we're going to share a clip from Al Jazeera to show you how international it's gone. Other countries are airing this story now, so the world is looking at the situation. So we're going to air a news clip about it, and then we're going to give you the latest update on the case, and then we're going to talk about it. Right now, I'm hoping YouTube doesn't flag us because I do want to show the clip. It's not graphic, but it's very distressing. So just know that we're talking about the Sonia Massey killing. Police officer killed her in her home when she called the cops because she suspected there was an intruder or somebody was trying to break in or something like that. But so let's play the news clip, family, and then we'll talk about it because this is pretty big and this is going to be in the news for quite some time now, right? All
Yeah.
right. So if that's, I'm going to share my screen right quick, and we've got a couple clips from TikTok is what we have. So I'm going to do the Al Jazeera one. So let me share my screen real fast and then we'll talk about it because this is truly sad, honestly. So let's see, and let me know if you can see my screen. Ty, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to load it up and then we'll let it rock out.
United States have released body cam video of a police officer shooting a black woman inside her home.
You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot your face. Okay, I'm sorry. Drop the
It happened in Illinois after 36-year-old Sonya Massey called police to report a suspected intruder in her home. The video shows the two officers entering her house, following her into the kitchen. Police then shouted her to put down a pot of boiling water as they point their guns. Massey was transported to the hospital where she eventually died of her injuries. The officer who shot her in the head has since been fired and is facing charges of murder and official misconduct. Now, President Joe Biden has condemned the shooting. In a statement on X, he said, "When we call for help, all of us as Americans, regardless of who we are or where we live, should be able to do so without fearing for our lives." He said Sonia's death at the hands of a responding officer reminds us that all too often, Black Americans face fears for their safety in ways many of the rest of us do not. He added that Congress must pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act now. Authorities in the
All right, so that's the clip. Now I want to show you guys a clip of the actual of like a more I want a different perspective of the shooting, just so because the news clip didn't really show too much, and then we
Yeah.
can talk and from there. But let me
Just
stop.
like
But
just like the body cam footage you're talking about.
yeah. So I want to show, we saw that for the airman one, so I want to show that too, right? It's a different perspective, and
Yeah.
they also do a slow mo and a zoom in, so you can make your own perspective, make your own
Right.
opinion. So here we have that queued up, and we're gonna show that, and then we'll talk about it because this is crazy, right?
Right.
All right. So here we go. I thought this was one of the better ones.
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face. Okay, I'm sorry. Drop the fucking pot. Drop the fucking pot. Drop the fucking pot.
19 shots fired.
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot. Drop the fucking pot. Drop the fucking pot.
19 shots fired.
I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
all right,
That's
so
tough to watch. Yo.
yeah, it is tough to watch, family, and I'm sorry. That's why we try to show you guys. It's very distressing. Viewer discretion is advised. It's graphic. It's
Yeah.
so it's a lot. But so all right. So I guess I'll open up to you, Ty. Like any initial thoughts? Like
I mean, like you said, like when we talked about the other one, the airman one, it was kind of like a 50-50 split. Some people were like, yo, this dude, he was innocent, whatever, he didn't do anything wrong. Other people was like, nah, he had a gun, he did something wrong. This one, I don't think there's any gray area, right? This is pretty clear. Like, bro, like you murdered this woman. Like you,
yeah,
and I'm normally like, I don't want to say pro law enforcement, but I'm like, I understand that a lot of these decisions got to be made in like a snap, like in a tenth of a second type shit, right? Or people's lives might be lost, right? But in this situation, bro, like if she didn't have a gun, you know what I mean? She had a boiling pot of water, which she would have to do so many things in order to inflict damage on you. She would have to get closer to you, throw it on you, and during that time, you could have been like, okay, if she lunged at him and ran at him or something like that, all right, cool. Maybe I can understand it. She did literally nothing. She stood in the same place. Was she saying crazy, weird things? Yes, she was, right? But you saying crazy, weird things shouldn't be a prerequisite of you dying.
Right.
So she said something like, from the video I saw, she said, what did she say? She said, I rebuke you to the cop.
Right.
Like the cop was like, yo, put the hot boiling water down. She was like, I rebuke you. Nigga, no, like that's not saying I rebuke you. You yelled at her. She squatted, I guess, with a pot in her hand, but like she you weren't in any danger at all.
Right.
So
and the pot was still on the stove. I don't know if you peeped when you guys go back and see the slow mo, the pot. The officer was trying to say that she was trying to throw the boiling water on him. She had a pot. She was going to try to. Once she put her arms up and said, "I'm sorry," and she dropped to the ground. The pot was still on the stove. She didn't have the pot, so he lied and said that she tried to throw the water. She didn't. She said, "I'm sorry." She put her hands up.
She didn't try to throw it.
She didn't try. You see, she was like, "I'm sorry." She went down to the floor, and the pot was still on the stove. You can see, you can go backtrack and see the footage. The pot never left the stove, right? Well, maybe she had it in her hands at one point, but when she said, "I'm sorry," it wasn't in her hands. So when he shot and killed her, it wasn't in her hands, is what I'm saying.
The whole "I rebuke you" shit was a crazy thing to say. It had nothing to do with anything, right? So I can see him being like, "Oh, this bitch is crazy," but her being crazy isn't enough to shoot her.
Right. I know, bro. I know, and it's yeah, and I mean they didn't show the footage afterwards, right? Because there's more body cam footage of them, like of the other cops coming in, like they're asking if they're gonna do like do medical treatment, because he calls her a bitch, right? He's like telling his coworkers
he did call her a bitch.
He was like, he's acting like such a bitch, blah 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 blah. And then when they say to treat her, he was like, nah, she's done, bro. Like I'm not even gonna waste the medical supplies. Like didn't even want to treat her or try to save her life. He was like, it's a headshot. Like there's no point.
It was like the other cop was like, oh, yo, I'm gonna go get the kit. He was like, yo, that's a headshot.
Right.
Like he was like, ain't no need to waste a kit. Like that's a headshot right there.
Right. And notice the body language too. When you guys see the rest of the footage, The cops really aren't looking at him in his eye. His coworkers, they're not really saying much. There's silence, and the silence just speaks volumes because they're probably thinking like, this guy just murdered this woman, right? They're not trying to say it on body cam, but it's just quiet, bro. It's quiet. No one's really looking at him in his face. And I think that the cops kind of felt like this is bad. Like this is not going to go over well, right?
And I hear a lot of people say a lot of times like, yo, you know what? Like if because you mentioned it too on one of the pods that we did, you was like, yo, if you're gonna be a cop, you're gonna be a pussy. You know what I mean? Like this ain't the job for you, right? Basically, I'm paraphrasing what you said, but that's basically what you said. But like, and my response to that normally is, bro, like in these situations, like you don't know how you're gonna react. Everybody is scared. You know what I mean? Nerves getting away and shit like that. So if that's a criteria for being a cop, then it's like nobody's gonna be a cop because like y'all motherfuckers want people to be like RoboCop or John Wick, and that shit ain't gonna happen, right? And there's nobody like that. Like, but in this situation, it's like, bro, like the level of fear that he had for this black woman did not equal his response. Right. So it's like in a situation like that, like, bro, if you can't gauge, like you can't, like, I've always said this, like, there's levels to shit, right? So it's like, so say Joe, you and I link up, and I say, yo, Joe, I don't know, say you can't parallel park in a spot. Now I'm like, bro, like, I laugh at you. I'm like, bro, like, you can't parallel park in a spot. Like, you look silly as shit, and whoever's around me laugh. We all laugh at you, right? And you get out the car, and you hear us laughing, and you look at me, and I told you, you know, my mom died of cancer last week. And you be like, nigga, that's why your mom died of cancer. Fuck out of here. And it's like, nigga, that's not there's a different level to that. Like, you met me with a level 10. I'm just joking with you. You said some super serious shit to me. That's like, we got beef.
Right. Because you got to ask yourself, like, was this an appropriate level of force? Right. You know, and the question automatically for me, without any unequivocally, no. This was not an appropriate level of force. Like, there are situations where, like, remember the guy in Philly, I forgot his name, Irizarry. Remember we talked about that, where he was sitting in his car and the cop thought he was like reaching for something. There are situations where, like, if a cop can't see and you like reach for your pocket, we always say, like, yo, keep your hand on the steering wheel. Ask the officer, like, let him know, like, can I reach into my glove and grab my license, like, because you never know. Cop, what mental state that cop is in, if that cop is ready to kill someone or maybe had a bad day or just is a bitch and is a coward, like the one in the video of Sonya Massey. You don't know, right? But there are situations where, like, you don't want to make it ambiguous. When that other person has the badge and the law behind him and a gun and ready to kill you, you don't want to make anything ambiguous. You don't want that. So, but this situation was so cut and dry, bro. She didn't do anything. You could see her. There was plenty of lighting. The pot was on the stove.
Now, was she crazy? Yes, like
probably
what she was saying was probably was crazy, right? When she was saying like when she said, "Look, I will rebuke you," and had the pot in her hand, that's not enough. That's not even. Listen, like, you take it in that situation, bro. You got your gun in your hand. I'm cool with you having your gun in your hand, but take a step back. Be like, yo, and you can yell at her, yo, put the fucking pot down, put the fucking pot down. But to make the move that you did, it was like, bro, like you weren't in any danger at all.
So Todd, peep this, right? We got receipts, right? So there's a couple things. So we're not going to take it to the race conversation yet. We are going to take it there, though, because we do have to ask, was this racially motivated? And I know it's hard to prove racism in certain in court and in certain situations, but we have to talk about the race aspect, right? But before we get to that, because we will, I got a clip for you, and I'm curious to see what you think about it that's related to this, because this really pissed me off, right? And actually, cuz, if you're in the comments right now, my cuz was the one who sent me this one, because we were talking about it, and I was like, I can't believe this, right? So I'm gonna show you this, and I'm curious to see what you think about this. Let me see. Here we go. All right, but no. So anyway, so this is a travesty. Like, I hope that the family see this and knows that we unequivocally do not endorse or support this. We think that this was horrible. It was a heinous crime. It was, in fact, cold-blooded murder, and we don't. We're not trying to make any justifications or trying to make it seem like, well, maybe this, maybe that. Like, no.
1,000% murder. 1,000% murder. I have no misgivings about that. 1,000% murder.
I want you guys to know that is our stance. Like, this was sad. A black woman lost her life. An innocent woman lost her life, but a black woman lost her life, and she was innocent, right? So check this out, Ty. Tell me how you feel about this dude? You know Officer Tate, right? We know Officer Tate. He's one of the black conservatives on platforms on social media. So this was his take on this.
Justified, but it could have been avoided, but still justified. You can't throw boiling water on a police officer and not get shot.
Here, grab your ID for me. Okay. Your ID. One task at a time. So let's do.
She seems to be someone who's struggling mentally. They asked her to go and turn that fire off because they didn't want it to catch on fire while they were over there talking to her. And this is what happens next.
Hot? Oh, away from your hot steaming water.
Away from hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Do I agree with the way he articulated what he said? No. I don't like when officers talk like that because this is what happens. When you end up shooting somebody, you already look like a deranged fool.
Drop the fucking top!
If there's a black woman that's involved in any incident, they are automatically want to indict the police officer because they're white. They make it about a racial thing. They compared this woman to Breonna Taylor. It's just, it's so disingenuous. I think that this is justified. But
All right, can I make the first comment?
Yeah, please.
Fuck this clown ass nigga. Like, listen, I follow boy because, you know, as I've grown older, I've become more conservative, and I appreciate black conservative spaces because it's nice to know, like, there are other people who are conservative who look like me, who think like me, and we're not all a monolith, right? Some of us are just conservative.
Yeah.
Fuck this clown ass nigga. Like, I might even unsubscribe to his page because usually I like some of his perspectives and some of his takes. He's much more conservative and Republican than I am.
Yeah.
But this, when I saw this, bro, it's funny. I commented on his page and I said, bro, this is an all-time low for you, and put the clown emoji. And of course, TikTok removed it because I violated a community guideline, right? So he can sit up there and put this video up and say that he thinks that this murder was justified. But if I put a clown emoji on there, TikTok takes down my comment because it's a community guideline violation. Fuck you, TikTok, first and foremost. So that's my initial thought, bro. But like this is what divides our community as well, bro. And black women, we're telling you, black folk, but black women, we're telling you, we don't endorse this clown. He is a clown. He really, really is. We don't need anything further dividing our community. This was murder. Sonya Massey did nothing. This was not justified. How, bro?
Yeah.
How can you stand on that? I can't believe he put this shit up on the internet, bro. I can't believe he put that up, right? And he's trying to say, like, we're gonna indict the cop. So you saying the cop shouldn't face any charges? The cop shouldn't be indicted?
Yeah.
Right? This is fucking insane, bro. And if it's okay, Ty, I got one last clip, just one more last clip to add more context, and then we'll really talk about it and then like share this. But I think this is important too because this clip shows the cop's background, right? He actually has a very interesting background in the police force that they've known. So this is more perspective because we got to talk about policing. We got to talk about who we hire. We got to talk about the mental state of the people that we hire, the mental evaluations. Like, how is this guy even allowed in this force again, right? It's important to talk about that because the police force want us to trust them, and we want to trust you too. But like stuff like this is just insane, right? So peep this because this was pretty important. All right, here we go. And then we can just break it down and give our thoughts and whatever. But I wanted to add this bit of context too, because this is pretty important.
The story about Sonya Massey, the black woman who was shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy in Illinois after she called 911 about a potential intruder. The Justice Department is now looking into what happened. Disturbing body camera footage released earlier this week shows what led to that fatal moment on July 6th, when the now former sheriff's deputy, Sean Grayson, shot Massey in her Springfield home. Afterward, Grayson was fired from the county sheriff's office and charged with first-degree murder. Now, CBS News has learned Grayson worked at 5 other law enforcement agencies in the last 3 years. He also was charged and pleaded guilty twice with driving under the influence of alcohol in 2015 and 2016. Massey's family told CBS Mornings yesterday the sheriff's office did not initially reveal that the 36-year-old mother of 2 was killed by a deputy.
Thank God for the body camera footage. It's probably the most horrible and heart-wrenching thing that we've ever seen in our lives. But if it were not for the body cam footage, we would not have known that this occurred.
1000%.
Grayson has pleaded not guilty.
All right, so that's the last clip I got as far as like this, but like, oh my God, bro. So clearly this man had a troubled past. He had a very checkered past. He was been bounced around through different districts. He worked through several police districts in the past 5 years. He already had several counts of a DUI, driving under the influence. This is a police officer, by the way. I'm not expecting perfection from them, but he already had trouble with the law himself. He is the law, but he gets in trouble with the law. So it's like, I don't know. How is this guy still working as an officer? Clearly he has a checkered past. Clearly he does. You know what I mean? He I don't know, bro. This all just. I feel like someone dropped the ball on multiple fronts, right? Um. Yeah. What do you think, bro?
I mean,
Like,
I'm with you as far as the Officer Tate shit, bro. Like he used to be a cop. I had to chat up your cousin. Man, he like, yo, is this dude a cop or is just a name? No, he used to be a cop, but now he's like a YouTuber because I guess he's so popular on YouTube that he don't got to be a cop no more. But yeah, the I like a lot of the things that he says, like you said, like because
right?
he's like
Yeah.
he's a conservative, he's like reasonable, he's like okay, cool. He's reasonable for the most part that I've seen, right? This is just egregious. I thought like
Right.
these comments that he made, I'm like, bro, like what? Like what do you mean you
Yeah.
understand why the cops did this? I don't understand this shit at all. Like
Yeah. I don't either.
I mean, I don't get like I think at the bare minimum of being a cop, right, of any level, right, federal, whatever, county, whatever, is that you have to be able to gauge accurately the threat level.
Right.
A kid can't run out to you with an ice cream cone and be like, "Hey cop, hey cop, I mean, come take this ice cream cone," and you shoot him in the face. You have to be able to assess threat levels, right?
Right.
Versus like it blows my mind that this dude wasn't able to do that shit. And it's like, bro, like what we saw, yeah, would you be concerned? But you're concerned to the point, like, I got no issue with him pulling out his gun and pointing at her. I got no issue with that. Because I think she was acting weird, she was talking strange. But for you to take the safety off and let off a couple rounds based off what she did, bro, you gotta go. You gotta.
Why not tase her? I'm not saying I wanted her to get tased too, but like, why?
Yeah.
Why does it have to go to the firearm? If she's not armed with a deadly weapon, why not tase her or try to mace her or something? I don't understand, bro. Like, why is like shooting her in the head? Why was that your go-to? That I can't understand that, bro. Like, it's just excessive. It's excessive, and I think that this story deserves to go viral. It deserves to be spread across the world. I'm glad that other countries are watching to see what happens because, like you said, you picked the best word. You picked the perfect word. It's egregious. It's disgusting to see this, and so I'm curious. In moments like this is why I'm so disappointed in Officer Tate. Fuck you, clown ass nigga. Because I feel like these are the times when the cops have to like denounce this, right? Some cops, whenever things happen, are well, it's just a couple bad apples. It's just a few bad apples. It's not everybody. Okay, then why don't you guys come out as a collective and denounce this? And it's not just a local issue. Cops from every freaking state should be talking about this. This shouldn't just be local. It shouldn't just be in Illinois. Cops should come out and be like, listen, we do not endorse this. We denounce this. Come out together and come out strongly. Is that a problem? Is that problematic? Like, is that too much to ask for? Like, Ty, like, am I tripping? Like, is that unreasonable to ask of police officers to come out in mass?
I'll say this. All right. So I work for the Social Security Administration, right? And I mentioned this on the pod before, but like, I can't speak for your job, right? But like, you don't want to throw your coworkers or people who done like, so say someone in another office. I work in, I don't even want. I'm in Philly, right? I work in one of the Philly offices. I was about to get more specific, right? But I work in one of the Philly offices, right? So let's say I work in the Northeast Social Security office, but someone in the Germantown Social Security office fucked up. They did something crazy, right? What I try to do is, because I don't want to throw my coworker, I may not even know this person, right? I try not to throw them under the bus. I try to fix the issue if I can and move forward, right? So I would imagine that that's kind of the same code that other professions, live by, right? Because I want the same courtesy to be given to me if I fuck up on my end, and they go to one of their offices and they look at my shit and be like, damn, like Ty fucked up on this. Okay, cool. I don't want them to tell the boss because I'll get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Right. I want them to just fix the issue on their end, whatever. So I'm obviously, so two different scales, right? Like some people are dying on their scale. People are just, kind of being fucked up financially or whatever, potentially on my scale. But I'm kind of trying to relate it to why some people probably don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Because if they fuck up, they don't want people to throw them under the bus. Same thing with you. If you fuck up at your job, you don't want one of your coworkers just throw you under the bus. So I think it's kind of human nature to kind of like take care of people who do something similar to what you do. So I'm not giving an excuse. But
no, I know I understand. I understand. When if your company's reputation, let's say the cops were a company, right? Because the cops basically do the same thing in every state, just different names, different LAPD, Philly PD, like everything's different. But cops are cops. We know what they do. We know what their roles are. They're public servants. They work. You know what I mean? if your company or your brand was tarnished, was already suffering, was already getting a lot of backlash because of these bad apples who have done egregious things, who have, you know what I mean?
Right.
There have been things that have caused riots across the country. There are things that have sparked, you know what I mean? Like civil unrest. Like at one point, Ferguson looked like freaking Iraq. It was people going in there with tanks and freaking combat gear and camouflage. Like things have gotten intense in this country because of,
Right.
you know, police violence and police killings of civilians. But if your brand is already not struggling, but like if it's been tarnished or if it's hurting right now, don't you want to think you want to denounce this and separate yourself as much from something like this so that you'd be like, listen, we don't support this? Like, how would that hurt you though? You see what I'm saying? Like, how would that hurt your brand being like, we do not endorse this, we do not support this?
I think the reason I think is tough because if you do something specifically and it wasn't, let's say it wasn't up to code, other cops will say, you know, what I mean, let's say other people in your profession will say, oh, okay, they'll be quick to throw you under the bus. Since you want to talk shit, we're gonna throw you under the bus. Like maybe you didn't conduct this traffic stop properly, right? So we're gonna use our regulations. Hey, he didn't say, I don't know, this thing 3 times. He should have said it 3 times. Fuck this asshole. We're gonna you know what I mean? So I get the fear behind it, right? And I think everybody's just looking out for their own self-interest. That's all I think this is. This like, you know, the blue shield thing is all cops just want to look out for their own self-interest, because if they do something wrong, they don't want to have to be accountable for it, because they want to be like, listen, all right, cool. But I think there has to be levels to it too. Like I've mentioned this before, like killing somebody, it has to be outside of what those parameters are.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's crazy. That's crazy. And just so you guys know, I'm gonna so yeah, I mean, all right, this is sad, right? And this is my fear too, because I gotta interject this dude now, because now we're talking about like brand and like things like that. This is what scares me too, because we have an election coming up, right? And this is a 4-month old clip, right? But remember, this is on record. He has said this, and I'm curious about this too, because what does something like this mean? Like,
give our police their power back, and we're going to give them immunity from prosecution, so they're not prosecuted for doing their job. Give our police,
right? So I mean, Trump is no, but you know what I'm saying though. Like I get it. If I'm not trying to discourage people from doing what they want to do, exercising your political right, but like this man is basically trying to come into office being like, listen, I'm gonna give cops immunity. Like that's what he's putting on the table. That's what he's telling to cops already. Like, I'm gonna give y'all immunity so you guys can get prosecuted for doing your job. You know what I'm saying? Like that's scary.
I plan on voting for Trump in this year in November.
I know, but you know, yeah.
But I think that's out of line. I think each incident has to be like any incident where someone gets seriously hurt or die. It should be brought up into like a official body of, I don't know, like whoever does this shit, and look at the facts, right? Because each situation is different.
But it got to be external too, though. Like if your own company is doing its own internal reviews, you don't think they're going to be biased towards their own? You mean there has to be some kind of external agency that's doing this kind of, you know what I mean?
Also, though, it can't be people that like have never worked in law enforcement before.
That's fine.
Because the reason I say that, you and I talked about this before. Bro,
yeah.
People when they've never shot a gun before and they never do this shit, they say crazy, stupid shit like, "Hey, you should have just shot his arm. You should have just shot his leg." Listen, bro, like when people say that shit, I know that they've never shot a gun before, because I'm like, yo, y'all watch John Wick, y'all watch Jack Reacher, y'all watch these action movies and all this shit and be like, oh, I could just shoot his arm. Nope, listen, when people get shot in the arm, it was a mistake. Nobody aims for the arm. Nobody has ever shot in a gun before aims for the leg, because odds are you don't hit it. There are people, bro, I'm in the military, I'm on a range all day because there's people that can't hit a fucking a stick figure that's like 10 by 10. There are people, the sun goes up and comes down because there are several people that can't hit the shit. So when people say, oh, well, you should have just shot his arm, you should have shot the knife out his hand, listen, that's movie shit. That shit don't exist.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. That people have these unrealistic expectations of officers and their training and what they're able to do. Like that I'm definitely with you, right? So I support that. All right, so last question.
But let me say this: the people who can do that shit are like the LeBron James, the Kobe Bryant, the KD of shooting people. Like they're not normal, regular, everyday eating fucking donuts, drinking coffee cops. They're not
Right.
those dudes. The dudes that you see that pull you over for speeding or running a red light, they're not those dudes. They're the dudes over somewhere speaking 6 languages in Pakistan because they're
Right.
so fucking special and they're unique. It's not the
Right.
regular dudes. Like the regular, like when y'all be like, "Oh, well, you should have just shot him. You should have just shot him in his pinky toe."
It's ridiculous.
Them niggas don't
It's
exist,
ridiculous.
bro.
No, it's
Like-
ridiculous. I agree. It's a ridiculous expectation that we have, and I blame a lot of Hollywood for that, right? Movies and shows.
Exactly.
I blame a lot of that.
Because people watch John Wick and they say, "Hey, John Wick shot 7 people's guns out their hands. This guy should shoot." Like, no, nigga. John Wick ain't real. Like, he not a real dude. Like, John Wick would have been dead 5 minutes into the movie normally. Like, no, this is a movie. Like,
yeah. All right, bro. Well, the one thing that we haven't addressed head on, and the last thing to touch on this before we can conclude this episode or this topic is race. Do you think that this was racially motivated? Is there a case to be made for that?
all right. So, I'm like the most anti-racial dude out there. But
I gotta ask because
people are.
It's gonna be racialized. You know it is.
I don't think if this was a white woman, he would have reacted in the same way.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't.
I agree, but I'm like, damn. All right.
I think his guard would have been like down a little bit if this was a white woman boiling hot water. I don't think if it was a black. I don't think maybe. Listen, maybe if it was a white dude, I don't know, but let's keep it to women. I think if it's a white woman boiling hot water, he's a little less on guard. Now he probably still got his gun in his hand, but he not like, bitch. He was cussing her out and shit.
Right.
He was like, bitch, put the fucking water down, blah blah blah. Like, he was going crazy.
Right.
So no. I think if it's a white woman, he not acting like this. No.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that because this woman was black, that it triggered him and made him use that excessive amount of force. And I think that if it had been a white individual, that he wouldn't have had the same reaction. He would have had a little more patience. Maybe he would have cursed or been a little more aggressive, but I don't think he would have killed her. So with that being said, I feel like it's hard to prove racism, right? Because you can't go into somebody's mind. You can't read people's thoughts. So like you could easily be like, no, like even in court where people would be like, oh, you didn't hire me because I'm black. Somebody could just be like, no, I didn't hire you because you didn't meet the qualifications and you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Even if I didn't hire you because you were black, there's just so many reasons I can give other than race that why I didn't hire you, right? So it's hard to prove racism in certain contexts. So I think it's going to be difficult to prove it in this case. I mean, he's already he's already getting indicted for murder. Like he's already going to face.
He should.
And he pleaded not guilty, which is crazy, But
I mean,
so
listen, you got to because he probably gonna get some plea deal or something. But bro, he done. Like he done.
This is bad.
This was like sometimes it's like on a fence, you know what I mean? And they can use the excuse of being like, yo, it was a bang bang situation. It's like like you don't know what these situations, but this one was just like really bad, and
this was really bad. Yeah, I know, bro. That's why I wanted to talk about it.
He used a 10-level force. You would have thought she was like Pablo Escobar or some shit. How he was talking to her and shit like that. You would have thought she was like a known big time leader of a gang, and she had like a grenade in her pocket or something. Like
yeah,
on,
no, you're so right. All right, well, listen, I'm glad that we agreed on that. I wasn't sure, where if we were gonna agree or not, but I'm with you on that. So on that note, yeah, family. We're live, but like, is my cousin still here or not? Because I can't see the chat.
Yeah, he's still here. Yeah.
All right, cousin, we appreciate it, but we just wanted to make sure
he sent the message now. He's like, I don't think people think cops should be John Wick, but I think we expect them not to be murderers.
I mean, that's valid. I support that. I endorse that statement. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. So no, I'm with it, bro. So hopefully this man gets indicted. I hope that justice is served. I hope that there's no looting or rioting because of this case, because we really don't need that. We have enough looting and rioting going on right now in cities across the country. But I just this before an election, this could be something that could really galvanize certain communities or certain people. So this is interesting. So I'm glad we talked about it, family. So let us know what you guys think about the case. Like we said, the videos were a little distressing. I'm sorry. You can fast forward if you don't want to see it, but I definitely feel like looking at it, you get more perspective. Do you think it was racially motivated? Do you think the cop was wrong? Do you agree with bitch ass Officer Tate that this was justified? If so, it is what it is. Share your opinion and let us know, right? So now, Ty, did you want to get into the other John or not? Because it's getting kind of Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah,
we're
I
good on
think
this
I
one.
think
I'm
it's gonna
glad
be
we
good.
did this one live. Yeah, I think we're good. We gonna go back. We're gonna circle back to that conversation though, but we just
Yeah,
wanted to do this one live because we thought it was important and it was worth it. And listen, rest in peace, Massey, Sonia Massey, rest in peace. Our condolences to your family. Sending our love and our prayers. And we hope that there is justice in the legal system somehow. And that this man gets indicted and becomes somebody's prison bitch or something like that. But I'm hoping he gets
yeah.
something really bad. So, all right. With that
Hey,
said,
see, let's hope he
yeah.
gets like locked up with somebody like Felice Johnson and shit.
Yeah, yeah. I hope he gets locked up
Yeah,
with a booty warrior, and he's somebody. Yeah, I want the worst thing to happen to this man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
please, like,
yeah,
I don't wish that on anybody, but this was cold-blooded murder. So, family, like and subscribe. We're still on the grind. We're still on the move. We love the engagement. The subs keep going up every week. We appreciate it. We're still on the move.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, engage. And yeah, until next time, y'all be safe, man.
Yo, Joe, wait, hold up. We're supposed
Oh,
to link up when we pass 1,000. We gotta do something for the 1,000.
yeah,
Put,
yeah. I want to do a
yeah.
side by
And we
side, John,
passed
man.
that
I always
now,
like
but
being in the
yeah,
same room.
yeah,
Yeah. So we got to
yeah,
coordinate, fam. We want to do a live where me and Tyre side by side. I can see the chats too. Hopefully, I can communicate more, interact more too.
yeah,
But yeah, I love the side by side one. So we definitely want to celebrate because you guys got us to 1,000 subs. Thank you so much for that. We're still going to keep grinding these subs and for more followers. And sharing our perspectives. That's all we want to do. We love interesting conversations, y'all. We love it. We enjoy doing this. If we can make bread off of it, that's even better, but we
yeah,
genuinely just enjoy having these conversations and sharing different perspectives.
yeah,
So we got to do a live John to celebrate. So thank y'all
yeah.
for that.
Start getting us paid, y'all, so we can trick off. We can
Yeah,
trick off.
yeah. Watch the videos. Give us
Yeah,
some watch time. We need
yeah,
to increase the watch time and all that good stuff. And we're gonna work on some editing stuff too. It's all coming, y'all. All
yeah. All right,
right.
y'all. Till next time.
Until next time.